can't touch the work, so if you want to move anything, you just need to ask me and I will give you some gloves. And yes.
Sounds good. So I can't touch the works.
You can't touch the works, only I can move them if we need to.
Okay.
Here. So here you go.
Well, and of course, these things are, some of them are smaller than I expected
Then you
them to
thought.
be. Yeah. But you're saying I could touch the works with the gloves?
No, not even with the gloves. So if you're not.
So what's the gloves for?
Well, just in case.
Yeah, I don't mind you. I think it might even be better.
Yeah.
If you touch them.
So tell me, like, what's your idea?
The idea is that I, you know, like I'm gonna do what I'm doing right now, which is come up to the works, and maybe, do you mind picking this one up? And I know this is by Ionit Behar, right? But yeah, the idea is that I'm gonna show these works. The ones that the students chose. The students chose these works out of all of the works. And so they're gonna make a 3-minute performance video in response to each work.
That's amazing.
So this is one of them. This one says burner. And it was also interesting to hear the students like read on these and why they chose them.
The day a local high school in our town had a shooting, I was 11 years old. We woke up like it was any other day and walked to our bus stops, sat next to our friends in the hallways waiting for the bell to ring. It was 6 days before my birthday. That afternoon, the middle school went into lockdown for over an hour. No one would say exactly what it was. When we walked out into the hallways, grief had washed over us. We let out early that day. Children shouldn't have to play hide-and-seek with perpetrators who roam empty hallways like monsters on a hunt. They use weapons and throw them away as if nothing ever happened, pretend like everything is okay. It's been years since it happened, and I can still remember it all burning in the back of my head. I recoil at the loud sounds that exist outside my bedroom. I still cover my head at the fireworks on the 4th of July. Something so innocent taken away by someone so hell-bent on violence. Burner. Burn through your victims. Watch as you tear them apart. Some things are better left unknown. Where are you from? Where are you going? In the moment, it doesn't matter. You were there, and things still happened. Burner. Burn through the scene. Leave a gap in the evidence. 1 minute you're there, next second you're gone. How can someone disappear so quickly? A person lies dead on the ground. We know you had something to do with it, but we can't prove it. Burner. Burn a hole in the story. Run away and they'll never catch you. That's what you wanted. That's why you ran. They'll find you in a forest, in a ditch, at the bottom of the ocean, in the dirt, 6 feet under. Burner. Burn a hole in a million families. They didn't deserve it, and they still think about the empty spaces left in their homes. Dining tables that are one person down. Parents who have to lock their children's childhood rooms to stop themselves from thinking about it. It's all in vain, and they still feel the emptiness you left. Burner. Help me dig small graves for small victims. You are both gone, and we cannot find you. We seek you out in the most unsacred places. We cling to things that remind us of you and throw other things away. Burner. A wildfire has started in this small town. Makeshift memorials line down the streets, and white ribbons are tied onto the metal gates. Teddy bears are left on the grass, and candles are lit for them. People make signs. Burner. It's been 8 years, and when I think of them, I see how much has been burned away. Every once in a while, I can still see a glimpse of flame. We ask you why you did it, and you cannot answer. There are still bodies that are left in your wake. Time cannot heal all wounds, but we will grow over your scar, rebuild our forest, and welcome new life in. They still remember that you are a bottomless pit, and they watch themselves burn into the ash.
But I won't go into that.
So only one student, or there's multiple students responding on the work?
Well, each student responded to one work, and this one's the second one.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a print, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the artist Eric Salgado.
Eric Salgado, yeah, from
Workers.
2016. It's a lino cut.
And Workers of the World Unite.
That's right.
So if you could just re-pick that one up, we'll just. Workers of the World Unite.
I wish I could lay in the grass more often. There isn't enough grass where I am. I wish I could lay there and watch the stars.
What I want to do, I probably won't be able to ever do.
My job makes me want to die sometimes, but I just keep doing it, I guess. I don't do the things that make me happy enough because I feel like I should always be doing something else.
I would like to find something that I have a passion towards, but I really don't think that exists. And I do what I can to make money and get by.
I like the feeling of cold water on your face on a hot day, and you're holding this hand of someone that's really sweaty, but your hand is really dry, so it evens out.
I work for whoever pays me.
I would like to say that I work for myself and myself only, but that is not true. I am in fact a wage slave and work for this fascist police state, unfortunately.
I've been working towards things that make me passionate. I've worked in creative fields, I've worked in mentoring fields, and I've worked in the service industry for most of my life. That one being the primary one. And ultimately, I feel no sense of satisfaction towards any of them. So no, none of my jobs make me happy. It's just about the money, and that's what it always will be about. I want to try all these daring things that I'm supposed to try before I turn 30, but I won't.
I want to try that drug where you lick the toad. I would be a curator at a museum. I would curate an exhibition with all my favorite pieces and just sit in it for hours and hours and hours.
What I want to do, I probably won't be able to ever do.
And I guess that's a communist,
Hand gesture?
communist, like the term, the
Workers-
phrase
Uh-huh.
comes from the
Yes.
Communist maybe manifesto.
All right.
And this one, Mike Lash. Looks like a exhibition poster, right?
Yes, Peoria, West, is it West Loop? Yeah. Artist reception, February 1st, 2008.
2008, wow. And just to recap, it says, I think you're sexy, for Chuck.
I think you're sexy. Hey Chuck, I think you're sexy. Hey Chuck, I think you're sexy.
Hey Chuck,
I think you're sexy.
I think you're sexy. Hey Short, I think you're scored.
I think you're sexy.
I think you're sexy. I think you're sexy. Hey Chuck, I think you're sexy.
Okay, I think you're really saucy.
Hey Chuck, you're so sexy.
I think you're sexy.
I think you're sexy. I think you're so sexy.
Hey Chuck, I think you're sexy.
I think you're sexy.
I think you're sexy. I think you're sexy. Hey Chuck, I think you're sexy. I think you're sexy.
I think you're sexy. Hey Chuck, I think you're sexy. I think I fancy you.
Hey Short, I think you're scored. I think you're sexy.
I think you're sexy. Hey Chuck, I think you're sexy. Hey Chuck, I think you're sexy.
Hey Chuck.
You're so sexy. I think you're
Sexy. I think you're sexy.
I think you're sexy.
I think you're
Sexy. I think you're sexy. I think you're
sexy. I think you're sexy.
I think you're
Sexy.
I think you're
Sexy. I think you're
sexy. Hey Chuck,
I think you're
sexy. I think you're
sexy.
And of course, Diana Fried, who I had the honor to go to Cuba with.
Oh.
We walked the streets of Cuba together. We
that's
woke up in the
amazing.
morning early and we just walked the streets together.
Yeah,
But this is a beautiful piece.
it is. Rhythm, 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 rhythm.
How many rhythms? 3? 3 rhythms.
4, no?
4?
Yep.
Rhythm, rhythm, rhythm. 3.
From 2014. It's embroidery and mixed media.
Embroidery and mixed media. Looks like pencil, collage. It's a very layered piece. And I think the next one is
That one is by Tom Burkhart.
Tom Burkhart.
It's called The Devil's Passport,
The Devil's
which it
Passport.
also says it on the work.
Do you mind picking
Yes,
this one
I
up?
will.
The Devil's Passport.
What the hell, man?
You tell me. Look.
It works, okay? Your passport works. I've tested it. It works at customs. It works with TSA. I just forgot that I scheduled this hurricane today in this area, so my flight's delayed and I'm stuck in this stupid airport bar.
Yeah.
It smells like COVID, which so far this is the only country that it's actually still working in, which means I have to come up with another plague. And
Listen, if your passport got you through customs, you would be here already. I have a Fortnite tournament I need to be at in Beijing tomorrow, and if I don't get that passport, there's no way I'm playing.
you think you're the only one that's busy, and the demons are laughing at me. When Mitch McConnell dies, he's gonna take over as devil if I don't get my shit together.
I'm entitled. When Satan's making all of these big problems that only affect me. Come on, man. It was one passport, one job, and you couldn't even get it here on time.
Look, it would have been here on time if you would have just trusted me to do my job, all right? I'm the fucking devil. I've been the devil since the beginning of time, okay? I know how to make a fake passport. Shit. I think Mitch McConnell just died. I gotta get back to hell or he's gonna take things over. Look, it works. I will get it to you as soon as this hurricane, but it's supposed to last a few days. I'm really trying to take out Florida this time.
Listen, man. Honestly, if I can't play in that tournament tomorrow, I don't want this deal at all. The deal's off. Now I'm gonna go look at some Overwatch from Mercy pictures for the plot.
No, listen, you don't understand. With the rise of secularism, I need more souls. People aren't selling souls anymore.
Eat a dick.
You think that what do you think those are at the bottom? Those forms. We were trying to figure that out with the students. I was trying to figure out what they thought that was.
They look like containers. Like
Containers.
Like bags, right? I don't think that they're people necessarily.
Okay.
Sure.
Vessels.
What
of some
what
sort.
were your
I
like,
think they said someone said ceramic.
ceramics?
Vessels.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a mystery, and there's some shadows cast.
It's from 2000. That one is by Mike Lash. So same artist that's in
Mike
the
Lash.
I Think You're Sexy poster.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting. But this is a drawing, right?
Yes, and it's 1984.
1984. Mike Lash. This is what Jack looks like whenever he drinks coffee. And it's like a jittery cat.
Yes. Really benefits you. Skin and it's moisturizing the coffee grounds. Drink it every morning. And night. Afternoon. All the skin benefits. Cleans your kidneys. Really cleans your kidneys. Truly cleans your kidneys. It's amazing. I love drinking it. You just love waking up to the smell of just coffee. Coffee's very, very, very good for you. So many benefits. So many benefits. We don't even need the filters. We don't need the filters because the coffee grounds and drinking it and putting it in your body, you don't even need to filter it out. Molecules that coffee derive from make it very good, that make it very good. You're taking away the things that you don't need. Maybe sure you're taking away from you're taking away from the inherent coffee. You're diluting the coffee and diluting its properties and stay awake. There's literally endless benefits to coffee, to drinking coffee. You should always drink coffee, and coffee is amazing. I love coffee so much, and coffee is ridiculous. And coffee comes with the nutrients. It cleans your kidneys, cleans your liver, cleans your pancreas, cleans your spleen, cleans your everything. Everything is clean now. Everything is clean. Everything is cleaner than it's ever been before. I don't think I've ever had anything be this clean. I don't think I've ever had anything be this amazing. This energetic, this clean, this strung out.
It's untitled, 4 Clocks, 2008. This one.
Was that chime your phone?
That's my phone. Should I turn it off?
No, it sounded nice.
Okay. A little hard to. Here, let me try again.
This is a photograph by Donna Ferrato, 2008. Tribeca. What is it? 150 something? 158?
Almost 150. Mm-hmm.
Tokyo, 258. San Francisco, 1046. Paris, 852. No, 847.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is like a laboratory.
It's a pretty nice collection. This one is only wet as well, and it's called Take Your Number from 2003. It's a screen print. I mean,
It's a ticket, but I think you actually
made it,
right?
Yeah.
Your number 278. When called, it's your turn for service.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, it looks. You could actually, like, when you see it in real life, you could see sort of that it's handmade.
Yeah.
Or hand reproduced.
The typeface is great.
But I think I'll go to this one because I think the person who chose that one is also doing this one.
That one is by Aguilar as well. It's called Gin and Honey from 2008. So we have a lot of Aguilars in this selection.
Victory Gin, Pure Honey, but these are also like handmade.
Mm-hmm.
Handmade. But they're like screen prints or something, right?
Yes, they're screen prints.
Okay, so there they are, Gin and Honey.
I'm curious what these are.
What do you mean?
Maybe because I'm not from the US, I really don't. I mean, are they brands?
Yeah, they're brands.
Brands of products.
They're
Obviously of gin and honey.
Yeah, they're brands, and I actually found out through the research of my students that it's a cocktail.
Oh yeah.
I think it's called the Bee's Knees.
Uh-huh. Yes, I know that.
Wonderful, thanks, Matthew.
Cherish daily memories.
And there was a lot of questions about this piece by Ionit.
Yeah,
but
this is a great choice. So these, as you can see, I mean, this is not part of the work, but the artist gives these instructions that the piece should go with a switch.
It's more than I thought. But it says, with the last person to leave, please turn off the art. And then it comes with a light switch. And it's funny because this is actually the piece that I chose to represent the performance, if you want to call it a performance. Do you mind picking up the box? I just want to get this is the most exciting part, that there's actually instructions by Ionit Conservation Ionit. This piece has been installed by a functioning light switch or by a dummy switch included in this box. The curator may choose between the two. I am donating this piece to the DePaul collection.
This piece is called Untitled in Blue. Often in life, we are left with only the recesses of our mind to tell us what we are. Our body, our minds, they are all creations that we cultivate with our subconscious. This piece is meant to bridge the gap between the real and the fabrication.
The Unfortunate
When
Set of
we are in our
Circumstances
hour
That
of
Caused Henry
tenderness,
III of Slovenia
we might look
to be
upon the starry
excommunicated
sky
from
and
the
gain
Neo
comfort
Catholic
and
Church.
wholeness.
It is a
By
reflection
connecting
on the
with the fact
relationship
that we are
between
but
religion
dots
and
in the
modern
celestial
media in a
cosmos,
society that no
less
longer
than even the
values our
smallest amount of
individuality.
significance.
Serpentine,
As
as
creatures,
creatures,
we
our
are
built
built carnal
connected,
desires,
feel the
sense
connection.
we wish to
between
love
us
and be
this
loved,
is the value
without
that
the
we are
God
left with
forgives
nothing
me
of our
more
lives.
than I
Call
cover
this
and
piece
how
our
snow
lives
on
are
February morn when we stare
I call
this
this
is
piece
greater than
our
the
lives.
sun.
I call this
Call this
a
a
gift
gift
on
on
the
the
Shane Alt Fulton, and it's from 2006. It's called Not As Seen on TV, Katrina series.
Not as seen on TV. Not as seen on TV. And I think this is after Hurricane Katrina.
Mm-hmm.
Before Hurricane Katrina roared across New Orleans on August 29, 2005, few Americans had heard of the Lower Ninth Ward. After the hurricane caused major levee breaches, through which waves of water rushed and tossed homes and cars around like toys in the area, the Lower Ninth Ward came to represent the convergence of destructive forces on a society. The hurricane, the geographical vulnerability of New Orleans, government neglect, and urban poverty and racial polarization. In the half-century before the storm, the Lower Ninth Ward had changed from a fairly integrated section of working-class neighborhoods to a predominantly African-American community, where family potlucks and poverty coexisted. Yet the area's reputation as remote and irrelevant persisted from its founding through the opening years of the 21st century. Residents rebuffed these stereotypes, insisting the portrayals of the Ninth Ward as isolated and dangerous failed to capture what it meant to the people who lived there: family, friends, and neighborhood. Indeed, soon after Hurricane Katrina forced them out, many residents were lobbying to return home. "It's a great community," one resident declared. "We want it back." Around 6:50 a.m., the eye of the hurricane proceeded northward over Lake Bourne, east of the city. Hurricane winds pushed a 16 to 19-foot high storm surge westward through the intercoastal waterway and into the Industrial Canal. Levees cracked and leaked from the pressure, and water poured over their walls into St. Bernard Parish in the Lower Ninth Ward. Then, between 7:30 and 7:45 a.m., 900 feet of floodwall collapsed near Claiborne Avenue on the Industrial Canal's east side. As an engineering report later described it, the inrushing waters entered the adjacent community with great force. Homes for several blocks were ripped from their foundations and scattered, usually in splinters, eastward across the inboard neighborhood. Debates over rebuilding New Orleans began immediately. In reports and discussions about the Ninth Ward, familiar issues of race and class came to the fore. For every argument raising the area, residents made counter-arguments based on decades of experience. While experts warned against rebuilding the Lower Ninth Ward because of its low-lying, permeable terrain, residents insisted that the susceptibility to flooding was exaggerated, even bogus. As homeowners in wealthier yet equally vulnerable areas such as Lakeview began rebuilding in the muck, Lower Ninth Ward residents wondered why their beloved community sat still despite a shared desire to restore it. When Mayor Nagin announced a recovery plan that laid responsibility for reconstructing neighborhoods on residents, Lower Ninth Ward evacuees cried foul. More privileged and connected communities are more able than others to rebuild, one homeowner pointed out. Suspicions about elite intentions gathered steam. Was this an excuse to clean out this poor, overwhelmingly African American community so that rich white developers could start anew? From Juliette Landfair, Journal of American History, December 2007. From Nikisha Elise Williams, in the Washington Post, August 28, 2020. When I return to New Orleans as often as I do, I see so much of what the storm left behind that is still not rebuilt, not recovered. Crossing the Industrial Canal into the Ninth Ward, I see the handiwork of Brad Pitt's Make It Right Foundation, Habitat for Humanity, and many other philanthropic organizations that pledged money and manpower. But mostly what I see is nothing. No homes, shells of buildings with graffiti up and down, from the rafters to the ground, and tracks where houses, churches, and schools used to be. On a recent trip, I watched through the car window as a group of white tourists biked down the street, sightseeing on a guided tour of the damage and devastation. Then I thought of the laughter that once spilled out of the doors and windows whenever we came home. Now that home, like tens and thousands of others, is gone. It exists only in my memory and imagination. It shows up in my work, both fact and fiction, and unfortunately nowhere else. Nikisha Elise Williams, Washington Post, August 28, 2020.
All right, thank you. And then I think we're at the end with Cheryl Pope.
There's one that I can, there's a portfolio that I need to take out from the.
Oh, that's right.
From the cabinets. But that's Cheryl Pope, 2016.
Cheryl Pope, 2016. materials are?
Nylon, tackle, twill, applique, letters, and border grommets for hanging.
But it says I give more than I take. And this is the largest work of the choices of my students. And then the final piece
Which is gonna be
is in the secret vaults.
not spontaneous because I have to actually find it in a portfolio.
Maybe this is the.
This is the Vietnam work of the flag. But we have a Vietnam folio.
Vietnam folio.
So let me see first. See where it's gonna go.
Vietnam folio. And why is it in the secret vaults, or why?
No, I mean, because we didn't take it out yesterday. It was a mistake on our end.
Oh, okay. So all of them are in like folders like this.
Yes.
But when you say Vietnam folio, is this just the folio of this person's work?
I don't think so.
Oh, we'll find out.
Sorry, I'm like messing up with your video.
Not at all. You're making it more exciting.
Okay.
I wanted there to be a surprise in this video. I was hoping there's always a surprise. Maybe this is the surprise. Let me know if I could help.
Yeah.
I know that I'm not allowed to touch.
But
you have enough room here?
no, I have to move some of this stuff.
It's a giant black box with closing suitcase or briefcase latches, and it says Vietnam Folio.
So in your class, everyone is participating, or are you the students that want to participate?
Every single person in the class is participating.
Okay.
And I gave them certain guidelines to follow. Each video should be 3 minutes. And I told them that it should be very good, a very good quality, or very, very bad, that it's good.
Yeah, I get it.
So we'll see how they turn out.
Oh, here it is.
So there's a lot of works maybe about Vietnam in this folio?
Yes, I think it's not just from these artists, but rather
I
just like
see
a
it.
category.
I think I see it.
I think, yes. All right, here it is.
Here it is. Wow, this actually looks hand painted, but I don't know if it is.
Let's find out. So that's William Copley. It is a screen print.
That's a screen print. But the paint looks like you really feel the brush strokes.
I think it's one of those things that people, like artists used to do, especially in the 60s or before,
Yeah.
where there's a collaboration between many artists. So they make a portfolio on the topic of Vietnam or anti-Vietnam War. And so this is one of them.
I see. So the artist's name is William Copley. What's the title?
It's untitled, but it's from the portfolio, Artists and Writers Protest Against the War in Vietnam. So that's why it's in here.
And this is from the year
1967.
1967. Are you able to pick this one up?
Yes, I think so.
There it is. And it says, think.
I've been listening to you boys and girls recite the Pledge of Allegiance, and it seems as though it's becoming monotonous to you. May I recite it and try to explain to you the meaning of each word? I, me, an individual, a committee of one, pledge. Dedicate all of my worldly goods to give without self-pity. Allegiance, my love and my devotion to the flag, our standard, Old Glory, a symbol of freedom. Wherever she waves, there's respect, because your loyalty has given her a dignity that shouts freedom is everybody's job. United. That means that we have all come together. States, individual communities that have united into 48 great states. 48 individual communities with pride and dignity and purpose. All divided with imaginary boundaries, yet united to a common purpose. And that's love for country. And to the Republic. Republic. A state in which sovereign power is invested in representatives chosen by the people to govern. And government is the people. And it's from the people to the leaders, not from the leaders to the people, for which it stands. One nation, meaning so blessed by God, indivisible, incapable of being divided, with liberty, which is freedom, the right of power to live one's own life without threats, fear, or some sort of retaliation. And justice, the principle or qualities of dealing fairly with others, for all. Which means, boys and girls, it's as much your country as it is mine.
So I'm gonna just go, I'm gonna leave.
Okay.
If I could get this door to open. Thank you so much.